Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into some really fascinating ideas about, well, the power of the mind.
Yeah, and how you can really tap into that power,
Yeah,
especially when it comes to faith and personal growth.
right. We got this excerpt from the Faith Hustle podcast, episode 2. It's called The Power of a Transformed Mind, and I think it's got some pretty powerful stuff in it.
Definitely. I mean, we're talking about unlocking your full potential, achieving real, tangible results. And this episode kind of lays out a roadmap for doing just that.
Okay, so the episode really centers around this idea of mind renewal, which honestly, when I first heard it, I was like, okay, is this going to be some kind of mystical out there stuff?
Right, I get that.
But it's actually not. They break it down in a really practical way.
Yeah, it all starts with this idea that transforming your mind is an active process. It's not something that just happens to you overnight.
Right, exactly. They use Romans 12.2 as like the anchor verse for this whole thing.
Yeah. And that verse really emphasizes that it's a choice. You're not stuck with your current thought patterns. You actually have the power to choose differently.
And that's where this whole cognitive stewardship thing comes in, right?
Exactly. And that was one of the things that really jumped out at me from the episode, that phrase, taking thoughts captive. It's from 2 Corinthians 10.5.
Oh, yeah, that's a powerful one. It's like it paints this picture of our minds being these battlegrounds.
It really does. And we need to be like super vigilant about what we're letting in, what we're allowing to take root.
So it's not just about like positive thinking.
No, it's much deeper than that. It's about actively monitoring your thoughts, examining those beliefs that are driving those thoughts, and then actively replacing destructive patterns with ones that are more constructive.
Okay, so I'm already feeling like, wow, this is a lot of work. Like, how do I actually do that in real life?
Well, let's say, for example, you catch yourself constantly worrying about something that might happen in the future.
Right.
Instead of letting that worry just run wild, you can practice this cognitive stewardship. You first acknowledge the worry, then you try to figure out what's really at the root of it. Is it based on facts, or is it just like assumptions and fears?
Right, that makes sense.
And then you make a conscious choice to replace that worry with something more positive, something more proactive.
So I'm thinking like instead of, oh, I'm so worried about this presentation, it's more like, okay, I'm going to prepare the best I can and trust that it'll work out.
Exactly. You're shifting your focus, changing the narrative in your mind.
I like that.
Yeah.
So we've got this power to shape our thoughts. And the episode also makes this really interesting connection between our minds and our bodies, our spirits. It's all connected.
Absolutely. And it's not just some new age idea. It's right there in the Bible, Proverbs 17.22. A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. It's pretty clear, right?
Yeah, that our mental state directly impacts our physical well-being. And it's amazing how, like, these ancient teachings, they totally line up with what modern psychology is finding.
It really is. I mean, look at Philippians 4.8. That was written thousands of years ago, but it sounds like something right out of a positive psychology textbook. Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things.
Wow. Yeah. It's like a formula for a positive mindset.
Right. Imagine what could happen if we all actually tried to focus on those things more.
That's pretty powerful. Okay, so we've talked about mind renewal, but how do we actually apply all of this? How do we make it practical?
Well, the episode breaks it down into 4 key principles for what they call transformative thinking. They are intentionality, continuous recalibration, alignment with higher principles, and proactive mental hygiene.
Okay, that's a mouthful. Break those down for me.
Sure, intentionality is about being deliberate, choosing what you focus on. Continuous recalibration means checking in with yourself, seeing if your thoughts need adjusting. Are they serving you? Alignment with higher principles means grounding your thoughts in your values and beliefs. And proactive mental hygiene is like taking care of your mental health just like you take care of your physical health.
So it's really about taking ownership, isn't it? Like, we have this incredible power over our own minds. It's not just about passively accepting whatever thoughts come along. We get to choose.
Exactly. That's the power of cognitive stewardship. You become the architect of your own mental and emotional reality.
And that leaves us with something really powerful to think about, doesn't it? If our thoughts are this influential, imagine what kind of world we could create if we all, committed to cultivating minds filled with truth and positivity and focused on what really matters. So I'll leave you with this question. What's one thought you could intentionally choose to focus on today? One thought that could move you closer to the life you want to create?
That's a great question. Something to really ponder.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time.
See ya!